How's it going, everyone? I hope you're having a fantastic day. Just a couple of quick announcements for this video regarding the future of my content on the website formerly known as the platform YouTube, now currently better known as Corporate Tube, because that's pretty much what it is these days. Just a website for corporations to put their stuff up and have YouTube promote it while demoting independent content creators, which is why I'm making this video. As I'm sure many of you know, YouTube recently changed their algorithm to, like I said, raise up corporate propaganda whilst demoting independent content creators. So what they are claiming is that they are raising authoritative voices and pushing down non-authoritative voices. So, as has been said many times before by a number of different creators, YouTube grew as a place that was supposed to be a neutral public forum. So the definition of neutrality is that you take no sides. So you're not pushing any content up and you're not pushing other content down. By doing this, YouTube have basically said that they are no longer a neutral public platform, but they are a publisher. They are editorializing the content that they themselves agree with, or they're pushing up the content that they themselves agree with in a fashion that could only be described as editorializing, and thus they are no longer a neutral public forum. Saying that, whenever they go up in front of Congress, they essentially lie and claim that this isn't the case. We'll look quickly at the end of this video at Susan Wojcicki, the CEO of YouTube, her blog regarding that. They claim to be an open platform for everyone, where anyone can post whatever they like, and then 2 days later they remove, I believe, 17,000 channels for quote-unquote hate speech, which isn't actually real. So the thing about the algorithm change that they recently made is my channel was going very well. I worked really hard for a couple of years to build up my presence on YouTube, and in about January of this year, I saw a big spike in views. People started really enjoying my content. It got spread around. I was getting lots of views. People were loving it. My channel was growing much quicker than it was before. And then in early May and early June, they made a series of algorithm changes, and my views just basically fell off a cliff. So what you'll see, I'm going to put it up on the screen, you're going to see the fact that before the start of this year, my views were actually higher than what they are now, and that was when I had 1,000 or less subscribers back then. So I had more views coming in when I had a fifth of the subscriber count, and that is purely due to algorithmic suppression. My channel's essentially been shadow banned. So the thing about this is, other than the fact that YouTube should lose immunity from lawsuits as a platform, because they're not a platform, they are a publisher. They're taking editorial stances on the content that they push. I know I said that before, but it needs to be said loudly, clearly, and repeatedly until something is done, until they are stripped of their immunity from lawsuits as quote-unquote a platform, because that's not what they are. They are a publisher. But until they do that, there's just not much else that we can do on this site. But that doesn't mean we can't do nothing about it. So what I'm going to do from now on, this is the first announcement, is all my content that would normally just be a response to an article or maybe an on-camera content like this, that is now just going to go straight to BitChute. I'm not even going to bother with YouTube for that kind of content. So if you like that kind of content and you want to see more of it, link in the description to my BitChute account, and you can go and watch it there. Subscribe, click the bell, you'll actually get notifications. I know there are lots of people in Australia who cannot access BitChute, and that's because Telstra and Optus are both also extremely dishonest globalist corporations who are anti-freedom of speech, and they have actually blocked those sites for quote-unquote extremist content. It's not their duty to block sites for saying things that Telstra and Optus don't like. I don't think they should have the right to do that. Apparently it's totally legal, but obviously that means the law is completely wrong. However, that is to say there is a way around it. You can simply purchase a VPN, or you can get a free one. If you want to purchase one, I use Virtual Shield. Virtual Shield is fantastic. I'm not paid to promote their product. I got it myself, and I can say it works excellently. Their support is quick and effective. They will help you if you require assistance. It's very easy to use. You can turn it on and you can go and view sites like BitChute and other sites that Telstra and Optus have actually blocked. They shouldn't be blocking it, but this is why we use VPNs. And even if you are not with a provider like Optus or Telstra who are anti-freedom of speech, you still should have a VPN regardless, just because privacy, you know, look at what happens when you give all your data over to companies like Facebook. They betray your trust and they hand it out to third parties when they're not supposed to. And if you don't want to pay for a VPN, you can actually get plenty of free ones. You can download Opera browser and you just turn it on for free there. So you do have access to BitChute if you are an Australian who uses Optus or Telstra. I currently use Optus, but I'm planning on switching over, and I will once I move houses. I'll be using a different ISP. But that said, it's not just BitChute that I'm going to be using. A number of people would already know that we at the Uncockables and a number of other places, the Unshackled, who myself, David Hiscox, and Rational Rise TV, James Fox Higgins, will regularly contribute on. We teamed up to make this new show, The Uncouplables, and all these people, as well as a number of others, are going to now be putting their content, or all of our content, up on Rational Rise TV. So Rational Rise TV is going to be a cross between a sort of a YouTube-y kind of platform and a Netflix for Australian independent content creators. It's not just going to have politics and current events. There's also documentaries. The guy who's making it, James Fox Higgins, he is planning on doing a cooking show, and there's going to be plenty of normie content there. Some of it's going to be behind a paywall. All of my content for now will remain free when it goes up there. I don't have admin access to it just yet. I will make an announcement once I have admin access and I can upload all my content there on my own. Once I am able to do that, all my content is going to go up on Rational Rise TV first, and then I'll put it on BitChute and YouTube second, if I put it up on YouTube at all. Also, link in the description to my Gab, Minds, BitChute, all my other social media. I've also got a Telegram page. I've got a Discord server. I've got pretty much everything. I've got a MeWe and a couple of others I don't really use all that much, but essentially we have to diversify because YouTube's destroying itself. YouTube grew by giving independent content creators a place to put up content that was outside the mainstream. And it started growing. Independent creators started getting their message out. They started becoming more popular than the corporate mainstream media. And because the corporations are all greedy and dishonest, they've got in YouTube's ear and essentially got what was formerly a platform to favour them, that is the corporations, and thus essentially ruin the site. I can't grow anymore. Independent creators can't grow on this site. So I do have my channel, so I'm going to keep putting content up there for now. I'll be keeping on putting up the scripted stuff because it's still my biggest presence, but I'm going to be focusing more on growing my presence elsewhere with the view to eventually simply abandon YouTube altogether, because the site is essentially worthless to me now. I mean, it's not completely worthless. I can still use it to make announcements to people and promote content to my existing subscriber base, the people who are existing followers, that is. So it's not completely useless, but I can see it becoming useless very soon. I can see the site actually dying, because you've got to remember, social media, you know, places like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, they don't get built in a sense. Like, it's not like the corporation that is YouTube, or even the people that made it, just invented YouTube. It doesn't work like that. These kind of things are discovered. That means people find the formula that works. And what happened with YouTube is people found the formula that worked, and that is independent creators putting up content that's outside the mainstream and then interacting with their audience. And people enjoyed it because it was different, it was new, it was edgy, there was not the same crap that they got from the bought and paid for satanic corporate internationalist mainstream media. It was different, it was new, and the big difference is we actually tell the truth to our audience, and we are accountable to our audience, and these corporations are not. They're accountable to advertisers who have all been infiltrated by communists and far left social justice warrior activists. It's an issue with the culture, but you know, we could make a full video about that if we really wanted to, but we won't. My point is that pushing corporate crap is not what made YouTube so powerful. It's not what made YouTube interesting. It's not what people come to YouTube to watch. If people wanted corporate crap, they would go and buy a cable subscription, or they just go directly to the websites of these corporations. It's extremely disappointing, but you know what? It is what it is. We move on. I still want you to come and follow me and watch all my content wherever you can. I will mention one more thing about Rational Rise TV. I forgot to say, it is going to be a subscription-based service. However, some content creators are still going to put up their content for free. I'm going to be one of those. I'm going to put my content up almost entirely for free over there. Once it starts growing, I'm going to try and put as much content up there as I possibly can, and I might consider putting some premium stuff up there if I think it's worth it. But for me, I do get donations from people, and I do have some very generous patrons who do donate, and people send super chats and all that kind of thing, and I really do appreciate that. But I don't want to put my content behind a paywall, because I think that the message is more important than making money out of it. To be perfectly honest, I figure if I put my message out for free, then the people will be inspired by God to send money back to me and donate and support my work. And if God wants to reward me by inspiring people to donate and support my work, then that's up to Him at the end of the day, and it's up to the individuals who are watching my content who want to help me out. I'd love to be able to do this full time. Unfortunately, I'm not able to do that just yet. I was hoping that I could grow my YouTube channel to be big enough in order to do this full time, but you know what? Sometimes life just throws you curveballs, and this is one of those times, but we're not going to give up. It's annoying, it's a bump in the road, but I think that we're going to get through it, and ultimately we have to escape the control of the central authority, and Google, aka YouTube, are really the central authority. They are globalist controlled websites and companies. They do not have our best interests at heart. They have the interests of the internationalists, the bankers. They care only about pushing their own agenda. They don't actually care about allowing people freedom of speech. And I said that I was going to go over the blog for YouTube's CEO, Susan Wojcicki. So here it is. Just go through it real fast. So she says that she wants to preserve the openness through responsibility. She says that openness leads to opportunity, and today's creators have built an entire creative economy and are redefining the face of social media, blah, 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 while saying that they want to have an open platform where people can post whatever they want. They said, we remove content that violates our policy as quickly as possible. And we're always looking to make our policies clearer and more effective, as we've done with pranks and challenges, child safety, and hate speech just this year. So they're open, but they have rules against hate speech. Hate speech isn't a real thing. The fact that they even have a rule against what they call hate speech is bias in and of itself. I reject the concept altogether. Hate speech is free speech. They raise up authoritative voices when people are looking for breaking news and information, especially during breaks news moments. Our breaking top news shelves are available in 40 countries, and we're continuing to expand that number. And if you have a look at the trending news, especially in Australia, the other day I shared a screenshot where there was a video that had like 60 views in 2 hours, and it was #1 on trending in news. It's just ridiculous. That's broken. That's terrible. That is completely rigged. They claim to be a neutral platform, but they are literally saying that they're not a neutral platform. So we're a neutral platform, but we do things that are completely not neutral. It's a lie. Like, they're just... The fact that Donald Trump has done nothing about this just shows how useless he is. He's just a puppet. So we reduce the spread of content that brushes up right against our policy line. So even if you don't break the rules, they're still going to suppress you. That's like playing soccer and the ball's on the line, so the referee just says, all right, other team gets it, throw it in. Like, but it didn't go out. The ball's got to be all the way over the line. It's like, no, it was almost there, brushed up against the line, throw in, whatever. But that's not the rules. Tough tits, we're the referee, will do what we want. It's like, just, it's such a dishonest thing to do. It's ruining the site, like I said. It's just so stupid as well. All it's doing is incentivizing and forcing us to go elsewhere and build our own platforms. And you know what? That's what we're going to do, because they're making us do it. So what choice do we have? And we set a higher bar for what channels can make money on our site, rewarding trusted, eligible creators. What that really means is, so long as you are a corporation and you are pushing the corporate line, then you are able to make money on our site. And if you don't push the corporate globalist line, then you're not allowed to make money on our site. I'm going to say it again because it needs to be repeated until the entire world understands it or something's actually done about it. YouTube, same with Twitter and Facebook, all these Silicon Valley tech giants are not neutral public forums. When they say that they're neutral public forums in front of Congress, they are lying. They are committing perjury. They are not neutral public forums. This blog actually proves that without a shadow of a doubt, and we've had leaks to prove it. There's just so much evidence to prove that they are not a neutral public forum. The fact that they still have Section 230 immunity should prove to you just how corrupt the system is. Not just in the United States. It's actually proves how corrupt it is in the United States, but it's actually corrupt all across the Western world. But don't lose heart. We will keep fighting. We're not going to give up. The truth will win in the end. We're going to win in the end. This is just a delaying tactic. It's only delaying the inevitable. Our ideas resonate with the population. Our ideas are the majority. The only reason they aren't openly expressing them all over the place is because people who are willing to actually stand up in front of them or go on camera and express these ideas that are the truth, the ideas that I express and all these independent content creators express, the only reason they aren't entirely mainstream is because of censorship that we are dealing with right now. But it's just a delaying tactic. Just means the inevitable backlash is going to be a hell of a lot worse for the parasitic oligarchy that is currently trying to suppress us. I hope you enjoyed the video. Share the truth around. Follow me on all social media and Rational Rise TV. And I'll see ya when I see ya.